Patanjali Yoga Sutra, part-4, shlok number 1. Janmoshadhi mantra tapa samadhija siddhaya. The siddhis are attained by birth, chemical means, parts of words, modification or concentration. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Sometimes a man is born with the siddhis, powers of course, those he had earned in his previous incarnation. The time he is born, as it were, to enjoy the fruits of them. It is said of Kapila, the great father of the Sankhya philosophy, that he was a born Siddha, which means literally a man who has attained to success. The yogis claim that these powers can be gained by chemical means. All of you know that chemistry originally began as alchemy. Men went in search of the philosopher's stone and elixirs of life and so forth. In India, there was a sect called the Rasayanas. Their idea was that ideality, knowledge, spirituality, and religion were all very right, but that the body was the only instrument by which to attain to all these. If the body came to an end every now and again, it would take so much more time to attain to the goal. For instance, a man wants to practice yoga or wants to become spiritual. Before he has advanced very far, he dies. Then he takes another body and begin again, and then dies, and so on. In this way, much time will be lost in dying and being born again. If the body could be made strong and perfect so that it would get rid of birth and death, we should have so much more time to become spiritual. So these rasa yanas say, first make the body very strong. They claim that this body can be made immortal. Their idea is that if the mind manufactures the body, and if it be true that each mind is only one outlet to the infinite energy, there should be no limit to each outlet getting any amount of power from outside. Why is it impossible to keep our bodies all the time? We have to manufacture all the bodies that we ever have. As soon as this body dies, we shall have to manufacture again. If we can do that, why cannot we do it just here and now without getting out of the present body? The theory is perfectly correct. If it is possible that we live after death and make other bodies, why is it impossible that we should have the power of making bodies here without entirely dissolving this body, simply changing it continually? They also thought that in mercury and in sulfur are hidden the most wonderful power, and that by certain preparations of these a man could keep the body as long as he liked. Others believed that certain drugs could bring powers such as flying through the air. Many of the most wonderful medicines of the present day we owe to the Rasayanas, notably the use of metals in medicine. Certain sects of yogis claim that many of their principal teachers are still living in their old bodies. Patanjali, the great authority on yoga, doesn't deny this. The power of words. There are certain sacred words called mantras which have power, and when repeated under proper conditions to produce these extraordinary powers. We are living in the midst of such a mass of miracles day and night that we do not think anything of them. There is no limit to man's power. the power of words and the power of mind. Mortification, you find that in every religion, mortifications and asceticisms have been practiced. In these religious conceptions, the Hindus always go to the extremes. You will find men with their hands up all their lives until their hands wither and die. Men keep standing day and night until their feet swell, and if they leave, the legs become so stiff in this position that they can no more bend them, but have to stand all their lives. I once saw a man who had kept his hands raised in this way, and I asked him how it felt when he did it first. He said it was awful torture. It was such torture that he had to go to a river and put himself in water, and that allayed the pain for a little while. After a month, he did not suffer much. Through such practices, powers, siddhis, can be attained. Concentration. Concentration is samadhi, and that is yoga proper. That is the principal theme of the science, and it is the highest means. The preceding ones are only secondary, and we cannot attain to the highest through them. Samadhi is the means through which we can gain anything and everything mental, mortal, moral, or spiritual. Part 4, Shlok number 2. Jatyant parinamah prakatya purat. The change into another species is by the filling in of nature. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Patanjali has advanced the propositions that these powers come by birth, sometimes by chemical means or through mortification. He also admits that this body can be kept for any length of time. Now he goes on to state what is the cause of the change of the body into another species. He says this is done by the filling in of nature, which he explains in the next aphorism. Fourth, Shlok number 3. Nimittam prayojikam prakartinam varan bhedastu tate kshetri kavat. Good and bad deeds are not the direct causes in the transformations of nature, but they act as breakers of obstacles to the evolutions of nature, as a farmer breaks the obstacles to the course of water, which then runs down of its own nature. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The water for irrigation of fields is already in the canal. Only shut in by gates, the farmer opens these gates and the water flows in it by self. By the law of gravitation, so all progress and power are already in every man. Perfection is man's nature. Only it is barred in and prevented from taking its proper course. If anyone can make the bar of inrush's nature, then the man attains the powers which are his already. Those we can wicked become saints as soon as the bar is broken and nature rushes in. It is nature that is driving us towards perfection, and eventually she will bring everyone there. All these practices and struggles to become religious are only negative work to take off the bars and open the doors to that perfection which is our birthright, our nature. Today, the evolution theory of the ancient yogis will be better understood in the light of modern research, and yet the theory of the yogis is a better explanation. The two causes of evolution advanced by the moderns, sexual selection and survival of the fittest, are inadequate. Suppose human knowledge to have advanced so much as to eliminate competition, both from the function of acquiring physical sustenance and of acquiring a mate, then, according to the moderns, human progress will stop and the race will die. The result of this theory is to furnish every obsessor with an argument to calm and qualms of conscience. Men are not lacking, who, posing as philosophers, want to kill out all wicked and incompetent persons. They are, of course, the only judges of competency and thus preserve the human race. But the great ancient evolutionist Patanjali declares that the true secret of evolution is the manifestation of the perfection which is already in every being, that this perfection has been barred and the infinite tide behind is struggling to express itself. These struggles and competitions are but the results of our ignorance because we do not know the proper way to unblock the gate and let the water in. This infinite tide behind must express itself. It is the cause of all manifestation. Competitions for life or sex gratification are only momentary, unnecessary, extraneous effects caused by ignorance. Even when all competition has ceased, this perfect nature behind will make us go forward until everyone has become perfect. Therefore, there is no reason to believe that competition is necessary to progress. In the animal, the man was suppressed, but as soon as the door was opened, out rushed man. So in man there is the potential God, kept in by the locks and bars of ignorance. When knowledge breaks these bars, the God becomes manifest. Part 4th, श्लोक number 4th. निर्माण चिंतान्य स्मिता मात्रात्. From egoism alone proceed the created minds. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. The theory of karma is that we suffer for our good or bad deeds, and the whole scope of philosophy is to reach the glory of man. All the scriptures sing and glory of man, of the soul, and then in the same breath they preach karma. A good deed brings such a result, and a bad deed such another. But if the soul can be acted upon by a good or a bad deed, the soul amounts to nothing. Bad deeds put a bar to the manifestation of the nature of the Purusha. Good deeds take the obstacle off, and the glory of the Purusha becomes manifest. The Purusha itself is never changed. Whatever you do never destroys your own glory, your own nature, because the soul cannot be acted upon by anything. Only a veil is spread before it, hiding its perfection. With a view to exhausting their karma quickly, yogis create kaya, vacha, or groups of bodies in which to work it out. For all these bodies, they create minds from egoism. These are called created minds in contradistinction to their original minds. 4th, श्लोक number 5th. प्रवृत्ति भेदे प्रयोजकम चित्तम एकम नेकेशम. Though the activities of the different created minds are various, the one original mind is the controller of them all. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. These different minds which act in these different bodies are called made minds, and the bodies made minds that is, manufactured bodies and minds. Matter and mind are like two inexhaustible storehouses. When you become a yogi, you learn the secret of their control. It was yours all the time, but you had forgotten it. When you become a yogi, you recollect it. Then you can do anything with it, manipulate it is every way you like. The material out of which a manufactured mind is created is the very same material which is used for the macrocosm. It is not that mind is one thing and matter another. They are different aspects of the same thing. Asmita egoism is the material, the fine state of existence out of which these made minds and made bodies of the yogi are manufactured. Therefore, when the yogi has found the secret of these energies of nature, he can manufacture any number of bodies or minds out of the substance known as egoism. Part 4th, Shlok number 6. Tatra Dhyanajam Nashyam. Among the various chittas, that which is attained by samadhi is desireless. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Among all the various minds that we see in various men, only that mind which has attained to samadhi, perfection, concentration, is the highest. A man who has attained certain powers through medicines or through words or through mortifications still has desires, but that man who has attained to samadhi through concentration is alone free from all desires. Slok number 7. Karmashu Shukla Krishnam Yogin Vidhama Tarisham. Works are neither black nor white for the yogis, for others they are threefold black, white, and mixed. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. When the yogi has attained perfection, his actions and the karma produced by those actions do not bind him, because he did not desire them. He just works on him. He works to do good and he does good, but doesn't care for the result, and it will not come to him. But for ordinary men who have not attained to the highest state, works are the three kinds: black, evil actions; white, good actions. And part 4th, Shlok number 8. Tatas Dvipaka Gunan Name Pabhi Vyaktirva Sana Nam. From these threefold works are manifested in each state only those desires which are fitting to that state alone. The others are held in abeyance for the time being. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Suppose I have made the three kinds of good karma, bad karma, and mixed, and suppose I die and become a god in heaven. The desires in a god body are not the same as the desires in a human body. The god body neither eats nor drinks. What becomes of my past unworked karmas, which produce as their effect the desires to eat and drink? Where would these karmas go? When I become a god, the answer is that desires can only manifest themselves in proper environments. Only those desires will come out for which the environment is fitted. The rest will remain stored up. In this life, we have many godly desires, many human desires, many animal desires. If I take a god body, only the good desires will come up, because for them the environments are suitable. And if I take an animal body, only the animal desires will come up, and the good desires will wait. What does this show? That by means of environment we can check these desires. only that karma which is suited to and fitted for the environments will come out. This shows that the power of environment is the great check to control even karma itself. Part 4, Shlok number 9. Jati Desh Kal व्यवहितानाम अप्यय अंतर्यम स्मृति संस्कार योरेक रूपत्वात्. There is consecutiveness in desires even though separated by species, space and time, there being identification of memory and impressions. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. Experiences become fine, become impressions. Impressions revivified become memory. The word memory here includes unconscious cooperation of past experiences reduced to impressions with present conscious action. In each body, the group of impressions acquired in a similar body only becomes the cause of action in that body. The experiences of a dissimilar body are held in abeyance. Each body acts as if it were a descendant of a series of bodies of that species only. Thus, consecutiveness of desires is not to be broken. Fourth, Shlok number 10th. तासां नादित्वं चाशियो nityatvat. Thirst for happiness, being eternal desires, are without beginning. Commentary on Sri Patanjali Yoga Sutra by Swami Vivekananda. All experience is preceded by desire for happiness. There was no beginning of experience, as each fresh experience is built upon the tendency generated by past experience. Therefore, desire is without beginning.